What's up, viewers? Today is one of those days when I'm very much just unhappy with the state of my life and the state of how things are, and I feel like they don't have to be this way. So today's going to be a complaining episode. Right now, I'm halfway through my extremely busy day of class, so I haven't been checking in at all. My plan for today's vlog, since nothing interesting is happening except for me going to class and working my ass off, is to sit down at the end of the day before going to bed and just complaining about the state of my life and the state of things. You guys, it's going to be kind of annoying, probably. Pretty much a list of things that piss me right off. So if you guys want to skip that, feel free to do so. Question of the day is going to be in the description. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next check-in where I'm going to be mad. Alright, so contrary to what I said before, I'm actually going to take a nap before I sit down and do my little complain thing. Hello friends, welcome to the final check-in of today's vlog. Two things. First of all, somebody yesterday told me that I speak too quietly in my vlogs, so I will attempt to speak a little bit more loudly, although normally when I speak quietly it is either because people are sleeping or because I have just recently woken up and am feeling very relaxed and content with the world and don't feel like yelling. That is the reason why I spoke so quietly in yesterday's vlog. I also woke up today from a series of dreams, one of which contained one of you guys commenting, telling me that I mumble in my vlogs. So I'm going to try and enunciate my words a little bit more, because part of the reason for doing this vlog is a presentation practice, as I've told you guys before. So it really helps when you guys tell me what I'm doing wrong, whether I'm mumbling or being quiet or being loud or being obnoxious. Some of you guys have talked about little different accents that I do, like this one right here. So I keep all this stuff in mind. So keep letting me know if there's anything I do well or poorly. Now, I promised you guys this morning in the previous check-in, I believe, that I would do a bit of a rant about why I am currently slightly mad. So today, this morning, I was just contemplating the kind of situation that I'm currently in with school. I currently have 7 weeks left of school, and I'm in 4 classes that don't seem very consequential. Like everything I do every day, aside from things like this vlog, everything I do that's school related, at the very least, doesn't seem to have any use or purpose whatsoever. And this just slightly bothers me, because I've been in this kind of situation before where the things that I'm doing for school don't seem to really be important or necessary or whatever. It's just unclear why I'm doing them. However, in those circumstances, I at least had other things going for me. So to be a little bit more explicit about what I mean, consider last fall. So not the fall that I began this vlog, but the fall before that. In my junior year here of college, I was taking 4 different classes. One was a systems course for computer science, which had problem sets once every 2 weeks, and 2 tests, a midterm and a final. One was another systems course. This was a graduate one. This one also had problem sets once every 2 weeks, and it had one big final project. I was taking a healthcare class, which had problem sets once every 2 weeks, and it had a midterm and a final. I was taking a networking course, which had a single midterm, 2 assignments throughout the whole semester, and weekly quizzes like every day before class. So the beauty of this schedule was twofold. First of all, having assignments once every 2 weeks was just glorious. I could do the assignments on my own pace. It usually took about a week to complete one, so I could either do it in the first week and the second week, somewhere in between. And having that flexibility for each of my essentially problem set classes. So 3 of the classes had assignments once every 2 weeks, and then the networking class was kind of all over the place, but it only really had 1 assignment the entire semester. So that was really, really nice. I could pace myself, I could do my own thing, but on top of that, and this is like a really bad thing to say probably, especially because a lot of you guys here sometimes treat me as a role model or whatever, but I'll say it anyway because I want to be completely honest. That fall, I didn't really have to go to most of my classes. Okay, I didn't really have to go to the systems class, either of them. I didn't have to go to the networking class. I barely had to go to the healthcare class, just a little bit for the section. So essentially, that entire semester, I could opt to stay in my room and study materials on my own. And the reason for this was because most of my classes were either filmed or had extensive notes online that were posted after the fact that I could sit down and read on my own time. So the beauty of that semester was that I could sit down, I could do the assignments on my own time, I could learn the material on my own time, and I could study in such a way that I actually felt like I was learning, and I didn't hate my life. You know what I mean? I didn't have to wake up at a certain time to go somewhere. I could just wake up whenever, sit down, crank through it, and if I ever got stuck, I could go online and look up ways to get around my problems. My assignments were mostly coding assignments. I didn't have to do any readings. I didn't have to do any theory. It was just perfect. And I learned so much from that semester that was the semester that I got my internship that I did last summer, which then developed into my full-time job. So that semester was, I would say, the most effective and impactful semester of my life, and I felt extremely in control of everything. It sucked. It was very difficult. There were many weekends where I just didn't sleep at all, right? But at least I felt like it was justified. I was working towards something. There was a purpose for it, and it wasn't like complete bullshit. This right now is complete bullshit. First of all, I'm taking a CS theory class, which has absolutely no impact on my life whatsoever. I'm interested in computer science for the application components of it, and while the theory is important, the baseline theory that I studied 2 years ago was very much, enough for me. And the graduate theory class that I'm taking right now, that I'm taking pretty much explicitly to kind of fulfill these requirements, I have very limited interest in the course, and I'm just not feeling it. It doesn't make sense for any aspect of my life for me to be studying this stuff or putting time into it at all. Then there's the math course, and the math course is like fine. Math is fine. I arrived at this school thinking I was going to be studying math, and I haven't studied math in a long time. I thought this was going to be useful, but the huge crappy part about this math class is that not only are the assignments not once every 2 weeks, as I told you guys before, that's like the best possible schedule for a course. They are once per week, and there are multiple assignments at the same time. For example, tonight, it is currently 1 a.m., okay? And tomorrow I have a test for this math class, and I have an assignment due for this math class. Luckily, I was able to finish that assignment over the spring break, but I've been sitting here studying for this test all night, and I also have, like, a theory assignment due the next day. It's just... And then next week there's another homework, and then next week after that there's a project. There's just constantly stuff for this math class every single week, just barraging me nonstop. And again, like, math is fine, but this has nothing to do with what I'm planning to do for my full-time job. This has nothing to do with what I'm interested in studying. This is just a modeling course, a mathematical modeling course that I'm taking to fulfill basic fundamental requirements, and it sucks. And finally, the architecture class. I've talked enough about the architecture class. I'm taking it pass-fail. It's pretty much it's interesting, but I have no desire to read about any of the stuff. I have very little desire to even go to lecture. I can just open up the lecture slides, take a look at some of the buildings and stuff, and kind of get an appreciation for the architecture, but just sitting through it and writing these essays and taking these tests is unbelievably infuriating. Anyway, I am in this spot right now. I'm between a rock and a hard place where I'm 7 weeks away from graduating, and every single thing that I'm doing academically is not very interesting to me. It seems like it has no relevance. It's unnecessarily difficult. It's an unnecessary amount of volume, and the only real motivation behind doing any of this stuff is to graduate, which sucks, okay? When your only motivation is something that's unrelated to what you're doing completely, like it's unrelated to CS theory, it's unrelated to biologically inspired systems, it's unrelated to math, it's just related specifically to getting this paper. I just can't handle it. And on top of all of this, because every single class this semester is a very small 10 to 15 person class, I have to attend every single freaking lecture. And yes, of course, this is a first world problem. If you're going to school, you're expected to be going to every single class. But like I said before, it was such a great system where I could learn on my own time and didn't have to go through this archaic system of lecturing where I just would just sit there and for an hour and a half, like, drifting off, thinking about completely other stuff, and then am expected to retain this and, actually do stuff with it. My goodness. Ultimately, all of these problems I've had in the past. It's just in the past it hasn't been as hard because it has either been relevant to me or I've had something to work towards. Now all I have to work towards is just getting passing grades in all of these classes, and it's just such a pain. Like this morning when I woke up to go to my first class at 10 a.m., I was just so mad at the entire situation. Oh my goodness. Okay, that is my rant for my first world problems. I needed to get that off my chest. And that is the reason why, well, first of all, I am a little bit snappy and mad and probably will continue to be so for the remainder of the week. And also the reason why these vlogs might get a little bit short and uninteresting just because I'm constantly going from class to class and I'm trying to squeeze in as much sleep as I can in between those classes. So maybe I'll check in sometimes in between naps and stuff, but mostly it's probably going to be 1 to 2 check-in vlogs from now on. That's it for me. Hopefully you guys are having a better time than I am with your lives. And as I was reading in an article today, one thing that you can do to improve overall happiness is to not dwell on the negatives, but to dwell on the positives. So, in relevance to this rant, I don't want to leave you guys on a bad note. I would love to hear what is going on in your lives and what is going very, very well. So the question of the day today will be, what is one thing you are extremely happy about in your life at the present? What is one thing that you're really thankful for and are just really happy that is in your life? What is one thing that you wake up in the morning and it puts a smile on your face because you're so excited that it's in your life? Could be anything. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all when I'm probably a little bit happier tomorrow.